A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Express. My name is Trix Ingara. Today on the show we take a look at what's making headlines locally and internationally and also get you updated on what's happening in sports with Robin Toskin towards the tail end of our bulletin. We shall also be taking a look at some of the very latest political dynamics in the country and try and make heads and tails of them. But first, let's start off with what's making headlines internationally, and we shall take a look at some of those papers and see what's being prioritized across our borders. The Daily Monitor is what we have for you to begin with. A hard lesson taken from Kampala bombing, says Enaga. They also have right there the tally of the coronavirus infections in the region. 25,957 is the number that Tanzania is at, while Kenya is almost 10 times that at 251,057. Uganda is standing at 124,554, rather 544, and Rwanda is almost at 100,000 at 98,485. Take a look at that and see what's happening in Uganda. Like I said, we have lots of local news on this Daily Monitor. We're told to ban local eating of Nile perch. This is what exporters want. Also, COVID cash donations have not been stolen. This is what the President Yoweri Museveni is telling the people, an assurance right there. And Karamoja women push men to surrender guns. A disarmament exercise is going on in that part of the region, as well as Kamya goes for lifestyle audit to catch government thieves. Find out what that's all about. Sounds like corruption is something they're battling just like Kenya. Excuse me. Now, on the Citizen in Tanzania, how Tanzania can meet soybean market demand. Soybean is quite a hot cake when it comes to exportation, and if they do up their exports, this is going to be one of their top foreign exchange earners. Also, we're told why Mount Kilimanjaro snow likely to get lost by 2040, and this has to do with climate change and global warming. We have been told that the glaciers, even in the mountains here in the country, shall be gone in a few decades. Also, is the baby mama trend glamorized? Find out what's happening on the social scene of Tanzania as far as baby mamas are concerned. And 1 killed, 3 injured in Kampala bomb blast, as well as optimism ahead of the LNG project negotiation resumption. Rwanda Today this morning is telling us hard times force children into Kigali streets to beg for help. Unfortunate news right there, coming on the back, or rather hot on the heels of very tough economic times right there. Children, one pictured there, are being forced to fend for themselves in the only way they know how, by begging on the streets. Now South Africa sends SADC team to Eswatini, and trials for clinical injectable ARVs start in Uganda. And this news has been met with much positive, reactions. The drug, of course, has been named right there, and is going to be much hope for those who are forced to live with this drug in order to survive and have normalcy as far as health is concerned. And educators raise concern over looming rise in dropout rates, and pig kidney works in human patient in potential miracle. And well, it's being termed as a potential miracle, and this has been a story that has made the headlines for a while now. Find out why it's being termed a potential miracle. Now, new details emerge in Baldwin's film death. Now, this was a death of a film, set technician who was shot after this actor, Alec Baldwin, fired off a prop gun that killed her and injured one other person that was on set in the film, during the filming of a movie called Rust. Also, there's more news right here for you. We are being told tens of millions of filthy used medical gloves imported into US during the pandemic. Find out more and about what's happening in that, and that is something that is also touching on what we are going through here in the country. Also, actor who played Gunther on Friends has died. Unfortunate news for fans of Friends. Find out what's happening in there. And royalty, Japanese royalty, is also making headlines here on the CNN. We're told Princess will go ahead with wedding to commoner despite public disapproval, and she even relinquished some of her inheritance because of this bid to marry a person who is not of royal descent. Find out more by taking a look at the CNN. Also in entertainment, we're told Ed Sheeran says he tested positive for COVID. That's the CNN. And an 100-old deadly obsession on the roof of the world. Find out what that's about. Those who love to hike might find that interesting. Also, we have the Standard newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at what this paper has for us this morning. Mudavadi under pressure to support Raila. Until 2 weeks ago, ANC leader was busy on the campaign trail, just like DP Ruto and ODM leader, but has since cooled off amid revelations that powerful forces within the government want him to back the former prime minister. Find out more about that. That script is being fronted by some powerful individuals who are pushing Musalia and some of our members to support Raila, but we want to assure our supporters that his name will be on the ballot. This is according to Ayub Savula, who is ANC vice chair. Also, Uhuru gave me secret to climb Mount Kenya. Find out what the deputy president is saying. He says that the president told him to start endearing himself to central region a long time ago and take goodies to them to win their support. And this apparently is what he has been doing. Of course, we have seen it in the headlines. Also, we have here Haji takes on big cases and DCI boss Kinoti, and senators in gun drama surrenders. We have seen that clip on social media. Of course, it has had a lot of tongues wagging about gun rights and how those who have the right to bear them are behaving. And of course, no sweet smell as flower firms shut down. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected flower farmers across the nation. It was hoped that by now there would be an increase in exportations and everything will be at normalcy. But unfortunately, it seems like some of them are still bearing the brunt of tough economic times. Take a look at the Standard this morning and find out what's making headlines. We also have 15 counties to watch on the Daily Nation. In a State House race, they have pointed out quite a number of them. Tharaka Nithi is one of them. Nakuru, Nyamira, we have Uasin Gishu, Turkana, Embu, Muranga, Kirinyaga, Meru, Nyeri, Laikipia. Many of them are from central Kenya. And the Business Daily newspaper this morning is telling us CEOs face 1 million fine for lack of office grant rules. So much to cover, so let's get into it. Just to introduce our guest this morning to you, Alex Koskei is the Mwen Member of Parliament. We also have Fred Okamwo, the Secretary General for Third Way Alliance, and Elisha Odhiambo, GEM Member of Parliament. He will be joining us momentarily. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making the time to join us bright and early. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the stories that are making headlines this morning. Lamu Senator Anwar Loy Tip has found himself in trouble after being involved in a gun drama with a 32-year-old woman in Nanyuki. Police reports indicate that the woman sustained gunshot wounds after a confrontation with the senator. Nanyuki police are investigating the incident in which the senator alleges he was accosted by 3 people at 3 a.m., forcing him to defend himself. Latest reports from Nanyuki say the senator has surrendered to the police as Sirajur Rahman Abdullahi starts our bulletin.
Lamu Senator Anwar Ole Tip has recorded a statement in connection with Saturday night gun drama in Nanyuki, Laikipia County. The senator is said to have shot and injured a woman identified as Joy McKenna, who is nursing a gunshot wound at the Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital. The police visited the scene and recovered 2 spent cartridges, a Seska pistol serial number C987345 with 13 rounds of ammunition.
Msichana ambaye alipigwa risasi, yeye ameandika taarifa yake. So tunataka pia senator aandike taarifa yake. Ndio sasa tuweze kupata uchunguzi kamili. Ni nini ilifanya senator kiwango ambaye alitumia bunduki yake.
The youthful lawmaker told KTN News that he was attacked at the hotel in Nanyuki and was forced to shoot in the air to scare away his attackers. The legislator says he sustained injuries during the scuffle and was treated in Nairobi and discharged.
Jana pia alisema aliumizwa na kijana mmoja hiyo ambayo alikuwa na wasichana wawili na tunaona yako na bandage kwa mkono, so pia tunataka apatie sisi taarifa yake ndio sasa tuweze kufanya conclusion ya story ya kila mtu.
Tumeona kama jamii.
A few days ago, Senator Anwar was said to have been involved in another scuffle where he allegedly attacked his opponent, Francis Somugo, during Deputy President William Ruto's visit to Lamu.
Aliweza kunivamia nikiingia kwa boat na akaweza kwa mabavu kuninyang'anya simu, akaniumiza mkono, akanivunjia miwani na akaweza kuingia kwa boti nyingine na akaweza kutoroka. Sijui ilisababishwa na nini.
The matter was reported to Lamu Central Police Station where investigations have been launched. Sirajur Rahman Abdullahi.
Now let's stay in Nyanyuki, and the murder of a 21-year-old mother of one allegedly by a British soldier is in Nyanyuki in 2012 is back in the limelight. British High Commissioner to Kenya, Jen Marriott, in a statement says the UK is cooperating with investigators in order to find the truth. The statement follows an article by the UK's Sunday Times indicating that the soldier accused of the murder had confessed to fellow soldiers of murdering the woman whose body was found in a septic tank 2 months after she went missing.
In March 2012, 21-year-old Agnes Wanjiru went missing after a night of partying with British soldiers at the Lions Court Lodge in Nanyuki. 2 months later, her body was found in a septic tank at the lodge. According to the UK's Sunday Times, the identity of the soldier accused of the murder is widely known in the army. The paper quotes a soldier only identified as Soldier Y, who says,
"He took me to the tank and lifted it up, and I looked in, and I just remember seeing her in there, and my heart sank, and I just said, I'll never forgive you for this, never."
The soldier told the Sunday Times that they reported the matter to officers at the time, but the crime was covered up.
Who did you tell?
Everyone knew.
But like the police or the senior officers or...
They all know now.
And do they know the name of the guy that was...
They all know. It was a standing joke.
Were you ever questioned by the police about it?
Nope, never.
Kenyan police or military police?
Never, no one. No police, military, nobody. When I went to the military and told them, they basically just said, shut up and get out.
British troops have for years been training at the British Army Training Unit Kenya Batuk camp in Nanyuki. A post-mortem examination found Agnes Wanjiru, a mother of a 5-month-old baby, died as a result of stab wounds to her chest and abdomen. An initial inquiry failed to unravel the mystery behind the murder. In a statement, British High Commissioner to Kenya, Jen Marriott, says in 2012, the UK's Special Investigation Branch carried out initial inquiries in Kenya, including providing information about British personnel to Kenyan police. No further requests were received at that time. Following the conclusion of a Kenyan inquest in 2019, we understand that the Kenyan authorities are looking into the murder. We will support Kenyan police investigations, the statement continues to say. And now the UK government may be under pressure to investigate the possible cover-up. Labour MP Jess Phillips, responding to the Sunday Times report in a tweet, says, "This is brilliant reporting and a tragic tale, which I will be pressing the Defence Secretary for answers about. Her name was Agnes Wanjiru, and we owe her a debt." British High Commissioner Jen Marriott says senior military visitors from the UK come to Kenya regularly, including in the coming weeks, and will be discussing Agnes Wanjiru's murder and the UK's support to the Kenyan investigation. To the family of Agnes Wanjiru, this may be the latest hope of finding justice over the murder of their loved one, close to 1 decade later. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Meanwhile, Deputy President William Ruto says he is better qualified to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta, who will be leaving office at the end of his term in 2022. Ruto, who was attending a homecoming ceremony for the Kiambaa Member of Parliament John Njuguna Wanjiku, said President Uhuru Kenyatta had taught him the art of hiking the mountain to the top, adding that he was the best candidate yet to replace the president. He made the remarks as Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i announced that some people had been arrested following the stoning of Ruto's motorcade in Busia County. Emmanuel To reports.
About 3 months since their narrow win in the high-staked, hotly contested Kiambaa parliamentary mini-poll, Deputy President William Ruto made a triumphant return to the constituency. This time around, the bullish Ruto, who was accompanied by a host of other legislators allied to his United Democratic Alliance Party UDA, quick to throw salvos at his competitors. Ruto saying he alone had mastered the uphill task of climbing the mountain in search of votes.
Watu wanasumbuliwa sana na vile ya kupanda mlimani. Wengine wanatumia mbinu zote. Lakini mimi niko na bahati, rafiki yangu Uhuru Kenyatta aliniambia mapema vile ya kupanda hii mlima. Akaniambia ukitaka hawa watu wa mlima ukae na wao vizuri, shughulika na mambo ya maendeleo yao.
Ruto's troops combed through the constituency, preaching the hustlers bottom-up gospel at the Latter Glory Worship Center Gashie.
Watu wa mlima, watu wa Kenya, tunawaambia tunataka kiongozi na tunamwombea naibu wa rais.
Hii pande yetu ya hasla ni serikali ya kila mahali, iwe Rift Valley, iwe Nyanza.
These people of the mountain have made a decision, and it's a decision that is well thought out. Sio kitu ya kuamukia na kufikiria.
The way you have carried the people of Kenya forward, I see the power of the people will be the final secret card.
The DP also fired shots at his critics, blaming them for what he termed as tribal groupings that did not have a place in the 21st century.
Kuunda serikali ambayo inaanza na watu wa chini. Ndio tumesema bottom up.
The sentiments came just 2 days after ODM leader Raila Odinga's week-long tour of the Vote Richmond, Kenya region, where he claimed he had managed to convince the region to support his State House bid next year. This comes as the CS for Interior Dr. Fred Matiang'i announced that 5 people had been arrested in connection with the violence meted on DP Ruto's motorcade in Busia on Saturday.
By this morning when I spoke to the regional commissioner, we already had arrested 5 people related to that incident that involved the deputy president in Busia. And I have asked the security team there to look for everyone who was involved in that organization, even if they are political leaders, whether they're elected members of parliament or not, I don't care. Arrest them, we take them to court.
The incident had caused ripples in the country, with leaders condemning political intolerance.
Wale ambao walikuwa wanamchokoza William Ruto wafanye nini? Washindwe. Wale ambao walikuwa wanapigia Raila Odinga kelele pia washindwe.
Kama kiongozi fulani atapigwa mawe sehemu fulani, inamaanisha hata kiongozi wa sehemu hiyo ataenda sehemu fulani na watafanya vivyo hivyo.
Si gari ya deputy president walipiga na mawe, lakini one of the convoy cars walitupia mawe. It's a dangerous thing. It is very bad. And that's why they will prove themselves wrong to the Kenyans.
Emmanuel To, KTN News, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi maintains he is the safest pair of hands to occupy State House once Uhuru Kenyatta leaves office. Mudavadi, who was speaking in Kajiado County, said the country needs someone who will restore stability. But even as he spoke in Kajiado, businessman and ODM presidential hopeful Jimmy Wanjigi scrambled to get a piece of the orange as he seeks to vie for the presidency on an ODM party ticket, is continuing willing to put him at loggerheads with party leader Raila Odinga. Wanjigi, who on Sunday took his popularization campaign to Embu County, faulted the handshake between Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying it was the cause of undemocratic decisions in the Orange Democratic Movement Party. Now, Ibrahim Karanja with the day's political roundup.
For ODM leader Raila Odinga tore into Odinga's dalliance with President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying it had brought dictatorship into the party.
Siasa za ODM siku hizi zinatokea kutoka huku juu, hapana kutoka wananchi. Hii handshake ni kama inakuja imeharibu hii chama. Ni kama ina mlengo wa kuharibu siasa chetu cha ODM.
Having found himself as a near unwanted man at Orange House on accusations of intending to bring down the party and scuttle Odinga's shot for the August election, Wanjigi took issue with the management of the party.
ODM si project ya mtu. Hatuwezi kubali hiyo. ODM ni project ya wananchi wa Kenya. Na uongozi wa ODM ni wananchi wa Kenya. And if there is no democracy in ODM, it is because of these conmen who are pretending to be pro-democratic, who are surrounding the party headquarters.
Those accompanying Wanjigi taking a swipe at Suna East Member of Parliament and Odinga's right-hand man, Junet Mohammed, over what they termed as self-destructive statements.
If you've been paid to tarnish our political party, we'll unmask you. And my brother, it's either you shape up or you ship out.
Chama ya ODM iko na watu wa Embu, iko na wa Meru, iko na wa Central. Wakati tumpigana vita, sasa tuko karibu. Tunangojea kushikiwa mkia tu, ndio Junet anakuja kufuruga.
Meanwhile, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi was in Kajiado County, where he continued to drum up support for his bid.
Muniangalie vizuri, kwa sababu mimi natafuta idhini ya Wakenya ili niwe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Mudavadi, who attended a church service at the Harvest Church in Rongai, said that the country needed an assurance for stability for the coming years.
Who can you trust to make sure that the economy will be managed properly? Who can you trust to make sure that that leadership will respect the rule of law? We want leadership that can be trusted.
With this polarized situation, look at Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi properly. The race is not given to the swift. Kuna wale washatoka mbio, but it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We are going somewhere.
This nation's soul needs a Musalia Mudavadi to survive.
He also called for tolerance in the country as more candidates seek support for various seats. Ibrahim Karanja, KTN News.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Karanja, for that story that takes us into our press review session of the day. We take a look at some of these stories and others that have made headlines, and politics, of course, is top on the agenda. Just a brief reintroduction of our guests. We have Alex Koskei, who's the Mgwen Member of Parliament. We also have Fred Okango, who's the Secretary General, Third Way Alliance. We are also expecting to join us momentarily the Game Member of Parliament, Elisha Odhiambo, who will be weighing in on the discussions we'll be having here. Now, let's start off with the story that we've had just moments ago. That has to be Uhuru gave me secrets to climb the mountain. This is what the Deputy President is saying. Now, DP says President told him to start endearing himself to the central region a long time ago and take goodies to them to win their support. According to this article, President Uhuru Kenyatta is behind the early campaigns by his deputy in Central. This was revealed by the Deputy President earlier on. Now, as we have seen in that story, I'll start with Honorable Koskei. What do you make of the Deputy President asserting that the President was behind this? And do you think he is trying to make good of a friendship that no longer exists?
Well, I wouldn't say that the friendship no longer exists. It does exist. You forget that actually Jubilee began by a friendship between Uhuru and Ruto. And that has continued to this day. I know there have been people who feel that a falling out has always happened, but don't forget they have never publicly stated that they have a falling out. And the president has many times talked very warmly of the deputy president, and we all know that a lot of the work that has happened over the past 10 years has been through that partnership. And we believe as we move forward that it shall continue. And that's what our aim is.
Okay, and I'm wondering right now, as it is, whatever it takes would be done to endear yourself to Central Kenya if you're standing in the shoes of the Deputy President. Do you think evoking the name of the President has some weight in his, and as he continues to try and win votes from that very key region?
Yes, of course. I mean, we all have a lot of respect for the President. And we all want to make sure that he achieves his legacy, because his success ultimately is the success of every Kenyan. And so we always have been trying to do all that we can to support him, to support his agenda and support his legacy. And right now, as we work, as we move forward towards this transition, what we want to do is have a smooth transition, a smooth election, and we want to actually assure everybody that we will build on the legacy of the President.
All right. Fred Okango, you are a politician. You have been part of the Third Way Alliance for a while now. You do understand the value of Central Kenya in this whole political dynamic that we are looking at right now. Could you weigh in where that region will sway? Do you think it will go the Uhuru, the handshake direction, or would it go the UDA direction, or even the Third Way Alliance direction?
Thank you so much. I think, first of all, the marriage between President Kenyatta and DP Ruto is irredeemable. It is broken, it is in tatters, it cannot be reconciled. Why? Because the Deputy President has come out in the open and even disparaged his own boss, the President. He has called him Tapeli before, and we know that. The other thing is that when the President was looking for partners to reconcile this country, when the President was looking for friends to ensure that development proceeds irrespective of their political affiliations, the Deputy President came out strongly and opposed that. In fact, he said that the partners the President were looking for came to destroy their house, and he said that they can never chase him out of their house. Today, he's speaking like an outsider in a government that he serves. Today, he is fighting the same government that his boss has said should deliver the legacy projects. When he appears before the President or in the presence of the President, he speaks like he respects the President. When he steps 1 meter away, he disparages and insults the same President using political slur. I think it is important that Kenyans know that for sure, even those who want to climb Mount Kenya, they will not go through President Kenyatta. They will go on their own, as I've seen other presidential candidates do that. So the President, while he disparages the other leaders who are seeking for endorsement from the Mount Kenya leadership, from the people of Mount Kenya, from the strugglers of Mount Kenya, he himself has been yearning for that endorsement. But because it has never come, when he sees it happening for some people who are his competitors, and he has acknowledged that they're worthy competitors, then he feels bad. So for me, when I read such articles, I feel cheated, I feel conned, because as a leader, you must stick to your guns, you must stick to your plan, and you must pursue it with conviction. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, is not honest, because on one side, he says that the President taught him how to climb the mountain. On the same side, he fights the same person who taught him how to climb that mountain. You cannot fight a spoon that feeds you. You can only clean that spoon, put it in a cupboard so that you can use it tomorrow. But the President gave a very good analogy, tricks at Bombers, when he said that this journey is like a relay, where you wait at a point and then you are handed a baton. But when he tried handing Deputy Ruto the baton, the Deputy President ran going backwards. So in my view, I can tell that that is not going to happen. Then lastly, the President also said the other time that, you know what, respect, even if you are having political differences, is important. And that clip has been playing all along. Right. When he was referring to respect, you have seen how the Deputy President, in some of his statements, whether the political or intentional, have roughed the administration of President Kenyatta's government. So for me, I think that marriage is irredeemable. The church have tried, and they have not managed, because one person says this in the morning and at lunch hour he changes the story.
Okay.
You cannot be reconciled if you are somebody who always changes goalposts.
Okay. Honorable Koske, I'd like to draw your attention to something that is being brought out by this article, even though Mr. Okango says he feels cheated by this article. It says, Ruto says his early campaigns in the region have borne fruit as others still struggle. And the article also says the president was behind those early forays into central Kenya. But then we have had a similar article in the Standard that has claimed that this energy that the deputy president has put into central Kenya might amount to nothing, because as other candidates now join the race, he might be turned into a pace setter rather than a front runner, because of course they are also making efforts into central Kenya. What do you think of Ruto's ability to maintain the pace he started with?
Well, I actually think that he's definitely not a pace setter. He's ahead in most polls that are out there. And my friend here is not being honest when he says that the deputy president is just criticizing the president. What actually has happened, and if you want to be fair, is that the handshake is what actually created this rift between the deputy president and the president. And is actually what has created a lot of projects to stall, and also the agenda of the Jubilee government to go off track. However, that being said, we have tried as much as possible, all of us within the Hustler Nation, to make sure that we support the agenda, we support the president, and we are sure that what needs to be done is done. And when we look at what is happening as we move forward, we have a clear distinction that is happening. We have those who want to create an economic movement and then changes to the economy from the bottom-up model, which is what the deputy president is pushing for.
Right.
And then there are those which are from this other side.
Honorable Koske, I'll just pause you for a minute as we are getting some breaking news here in the newsroom right now. A military coup appears to be underway in Khartoum, Sudan. According to Sudanese Al Hadath TV, military forces have invaded. According to that, military forces have arrested several cabinet ministers and besieged the home of Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok and placed him under house arrest early on Monday. The Sudanese network cited unidentified sources, and no independent confirmation has been made available immediately. Now, the military takeover comes a month after the Sudanese authority thwarted an attempted coup in late September 21. And breaking news coming to us here in the newsroom is that a military coup appears to be underway in Khartoum, Sudan. According to Sudanese Al Hadath TV, military forces have arrested several cabinet ministers and besieged the home of the Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok and placed him under house arrest early this morning. The Sudanese network cited unidentified sources and no independent confirmation was immediately available. The military takeover comes a month after the Sudanese authorities thwarted an attempted coup in late September 2021. Just to give you that, in case you have not gotten it, we are being told that a military coup appears to be underway